Hi, I'm Nick Jordan, and welcome Backstage. This program deals with all the productions behind the scenes at the University of Waterloo. The music that you've been listening to is not our theme music, but the prelude music to the university's production of Pinocchio. And with me today are my guests, Tracy Cunningham and Leslie Waterfield, who are with Pinocchio. Hi, Trace. Hi, Les.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
This production is part of a series that is it the university that's putting it on?
The drama department.
The drama department. Now, it's part of a series of plays. Okay, now you're playing Pinocchio.
Yes.
How do you feel about playing a puppet?
I'm playing a puppet. It's different. It's more of playing a child than playing an actual puppet. And I think that the problem is of being a child again.
Okay.
And
yeah, but are your movements, are they all?
No.
There must be a lot of physicality involved.
There is, but it's not as a puppet, as if someone is pulling strings. It's more of it's a very physical play. There's a lot of running, a lot of basic enthusiasm in what you do. And animal characters, as Tracy plays.
Yeah, you're playing Mr. Cat?
Mr. Cat, that's right. He's a wonderful character. I love him, yeah.
When does the play go on?
November 10th to the 14th.
And how are tickets going?
Tickets are going really well. As a matter of fact, we've excuse me, we've sold out 4 matinees. Well, actually 8 matinees. To school children and so on, and we have a Wednesday night show I think that there's tickets still available for. And the Saturday productions, we have 3 shows on Saturday, which should be very interesting.
So your matinees during the week are mainly like school children?
Yes,
groups,
yes,
whatever.
that's
Totally
right.
booked.
Well, Tracy, last year, you were in the production of 1837
That's
in
right,
front of the
yeah,
Revolt,
yeah.
and you played in front of children.
Yes.
How was it for you?
It was marvelous. I loved it. I really did. But it's very difficult. The kind of reactions you anticipate from the audience changes altogether. It's totally different. Things that you never thought were funny or that would ever get a reaction out of a crowd. It's just completely different. Children are wonderful that way. They get very enthusiastic, and I think with Pinocchio.
They're the best critics.
Oh, children are the best critics.
They would have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of expected, hopefully, audience participation, and they can really get into it. It's written that way. So. Okay,
but with last year's production, that was a historical theme with 1837. But Pinocchio is geared. Would you say it's geared towards children?
I think that it is a children's story, a children's classic, but yet I think it communicates on, excuse me, on all levels.
For example, well, Pinocchio himself is a boy who was born with the sort of mentality of a child. He has learned nothing. So his adventures show him going through life and learning what basically people learn. That there are bad people, such as Mr. Fox and Mr. Cat. That they're very good people, like his father, who's very unselfish, very giving man. And he learns throughout his adventures basically what people learn through life. So at the very end, just before he becomes a real boy, becoming a real boy is his reward for doing this.
Away.
No, I just, no. He is basically growing up into an adult and makes an adult decision.
So Pinocchio is going through everything that an adult is going through in a lifetime, and you're compressing it into to a 2 hours.
Therefore, it's a very fast-paced show.
Yeah.
He goes from one incident to the other, and this is why it's really good. That way, kids would like it because it will keep their interest. But hopefully, adults will be able to sort of look under the fairy tale story to see really what it's saying.
Kids will love that, especially when Pinocchio comes upon an obstacle or whatever.
That they can identify with, and they know that. They've seen it before.
That's right.
When there's a character that gets angry for no apparent reason other than the fact that he sneezes, and that makes him angry, and I think a child can identify with with that sort of
The abruptness that adults have.
it's you know,
That-
and they don't understand why someone gets angry at them. They think it's just as easy as sneezing to get mad as it is to be good and generous, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that all these things, all the things that Pinocchio becomes involved in, children can identify with so well as adults or you know, young adults.
Yeah. Because we know that Pinocchio, he's born as a child, rather as a baby. Like we were all born as children, and it must be difficult for you to convey all this learning all of a sudden.
It is. That's really one difficulty because when he is carved, his mind is blank, and everything is written upon it. So when he comes to a new situation, he can only look at what he's already learned, and a lot of times it doesn't prepare him for what he is about to experience. So in doing that, he gets very enthusiastic at anything. Someone can suggest something, and he'll say, yeah, let's do it. Not think of the consequences, because he hasn't learned about consequences. He hasn't learned about responsibility or such. And so he goes from one enthusiasm to the other. And it's, you know, the fox and cat come along, they promise him something great, and sure, let's go, not thinking. And really, basically, like a child does. And I found myself sort of thinking back of when I've worked with children, the type of attitudes that they have, how they can be very stubborn, or they can be very enthusiastic, or they can just be very non-comprehending. And to squish it all in, I think is a matter of having gone through in rehearsals, basically step by step, with every character almost, exactly what you're doing, what are you learning.
This must be a very demanding role for you, in fact that you're playing a child. And so, well, what do you, Leslie Waterfield, as an actress do? Like, do you erase all your adult memories, whatever, and put yourself in a child's shoes? And because, like, what you're doing is you're coming up to experiences that we've all been through, well, most of us. And it's like, your reactions, how do you...
I think you have to look at it, at least the way I've approached it is that I look at every new situation, no matter how many times you do it over, as if I've never met the people before, or I've never experienced that before. And so it's very sort of a wide-eyed wonder as to, you know, what's going to happen. And I think it also, as I said, from looking at kids, because I worked a lot, with kids, and they do have this utter imagination, which is, I think, the key, the imagination to make it, anything is possible, you know, anything. And I really had to go back and say, okay, if you would like this, then this would make sense to you to go off with them, because you're a child, you cannot put any adult concepts, and it's been hard. It's hard to justify a lot, because being an adult, we've all these ingrained things put in us, and it's really hard to take them away.
Okay, why Pinocchio? Why is the University of Waterloo putting on well, I shouldn't say children's play, but a play that's geared towards children?
It's it is because it's Pinocchio's 100th anniversary. Our play is adapted from the novel of Carlo Collodi, an Italian, and he wrote the children's series, Pinocchio as a series, as a matter of fact, over 100 years ago. Well, 100 years ago this year. And there's been various societies and groups set up to keep the spirit of Pinocchio alive, and we felt that this could be our contribution to that. Yeah, it's a marvelous fantasy, and it's proven to be a really worthwhile acting experience.
Really, how many people are there in your production?
There's 8.
And there's some doubling up of roles.
Oh,
Not from...
well, name some of the characters. Like, well, you're Mr. Cat.
I play Mr. Cat, and my cohort in crime is Mr. Fox.
And
And
Mr. Fire Eater, who owns a puppet show, and in fact, the name suggests what he looks like. He's,
Yeah.
and
there's Dr. Crow and Dr. Owl.
And there's one of my favorites, which is the tunny fish, whom Pinocchio meets inside a whale.
Yeah.
You're presenting this this play in the Humanities Theater.
That's right.
Now that's a large theater. So can you tell me anything about your set? Like,
Well, it's basically a surprise.
It's a secret.
really?
Well,
It's
our scenographer, Douglas Downs, has created this wonderful set. He's worked with Doug Abel, who's the director, and we're sort of anxious. We're anxious to see it too.
Really?
And we want to keep that sort of a
We hope it
surprise.
will.
It's something
Surprise, yeah.
very interesting and very colorful, I can assure you.
Are all the people that are
Keep it alive.
involved in the production, are they students of the drama department?
no.
Or do you have some?
We had open auditions for anyone on campus. So we have, in fact, one of our actors is from the math department. She's in computer science. And someone's in economics. And then I think
Economics.
the rest. And then it varies from first-year students to Tracy and myself, who are graduating this April. So it's varied, which adds to it. It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
And it's directed by
Douglas Abel.
Your, and he's a
He's-
prof.
Yes, he's new to the faculty this year,
Oh, I see.
and he's really added a lot. Both him and our scenographer, Douglas Downs, really added a lot to the department, and it shows in this show.
Yeah. Now, you two are going to do a scene for us,
Yes,
Yes.
that's right.
along with another actor from the production,
Yes, Blair
Blair
Chasty.
Chasty, yes.
Okay, and he's playing
Mr. Fox.
Mr. Fox.
Yes.
Now,
it's my
can
Mr.
you
Fox.
set up the scene for us?
Sure. What happens is, this is the first scene you meet Mr. Fox and Mr. Cat. And we come along, and we're a couple of vagabonds, as our song goes. And we use little tricks to sort of get a free meal here and a free meal there, or whatever we can out of people. We're not too nice of characters. And we happen along Pinocchio, who is the perfect mark for us.
Yes, person with no sense, but I
Yes.
have money. I was just given a
Yes.
present of some money.
And we set about to
Get it from me.
to get Pinocchio's money from him, and we have a little set routine that we try on everybody. We're not, I don't think we're the best of con men in the world, but we do try.
But you can represent the real con men of the real world.
Oh yeah, I think anybody that has something mischievous,
Yeah.
that they know when a child is so sort of hasn't experienced a lot of
They
things.
can get things out of
They
it. A piece of candy or whatever, how
Sure,
small it might be.
we could be the bullies in the 4th grade, or we can be the, I don't know, the president of no.
Do you ever get wise to them? Or are we not supposed to know that?
Only, well, I won't give away the story, but I'll just say Pinocchio does grow up.
Yes.
Okay,
He does.
so what we have now is a scene from the University of Waterloo Drama Department's production of Pinocchio. We have Tracy and Leslie and Blair Chasty.
Oh, a couple of vagabonds are we live a life of ease. Strolling here, strolling there, we do just as we please. If we need cash for a tasty meal, that's not hard to fix. We get what we want from simple folks by a couple of simple tricks.
I say, Mr. Cat.
What do you say, Miss Fox?
Do you know my dog has no nose?
Your dog has no nose. How does he smell?
Just awful.
We get what we want from simple folks by a couple of